remember what that was? Y equals mx plus b. Okay, David? Grant? That might mean nothing to you. That's the equation of a line. If you take points that lie on a line, we can describe how to get them by this little formula. And if you recall, m is the what? Slope. Okay, so that's the slope. Now, my classes have changed so much, I don't even know if I've talked about this with you guys. But M stands for monter, which is French, meaning to climb. Well, that's why it's M, because it always bothered me that it was M. Why is that? B, I believe, is French for, it would be pronounced basse, but that's the base. Well, even better than that, this is the point where we begin. And you're going to begin at that point on the y-axis. Okay, so you did a worksheet on this, and I'm sorry I haven't gotten to my homework. It took me long enough to make this. I have 5 preps, but anyway, I'm trying to get out of the game. I'm not being very successful. So if I have y equals 2x plus 3, I can graph that. I can put that on my graphing calculator even. But if I don't have it on y equals 2x plus 3, if I have something that looks like this, I can't put that on my graphing calculator. Okay, Nick? I have to have y equal to all by itself. And don't forget there's videos in your textbook. Which backpack am I tripping on? Anyway, if you watch the videos, he may say it a little differently than I do it. He also probably talks a little slower than I do. So it doesn't hurt if you're having problems understanding it to go back and watch the videos. You just get another take on it, that's all. So what we have to do here is we have to isolate our y, because I can't put this into my graphing calculator. Your graphing calculator is a function. Both. Start with the practice ones. Okay, and that's what we're doing here. These are the examples they do, and then we're going to do the practice ones, and then we're going to do the worksheet. And it may take us 2 days to do that. I don't know. Depends on how much repetition you guys need. Okay, so if I want to put my calculator, I want to solve for y. Well, and I'm hoping you remember how to do that from previous classes. Try to find my pen. And I'm going to circle what I want isolated. I want that guy all by itself. And we always undo the adding, subtracting first. Okay, that was not the right pen. The plus or minus first. And if you do enough of these, you'll see that. And then you undo the multiplying, dividing. Because it's the reverse of order of operations, if you remember those. Okay, so I can't graph that easily. Actually, I can. I can show you another way to do it. But we're going to go ahead and solve for y. So I've got 2x plus 3y equals 6. And I want to isolate y. Now what I want it all by itself. Minus 2 what though? Okay, it's minus 2x. Now you can't take away a 2 because 2 and 2x are not the same things. It's got to be a 2x. Now I don't care. Last year my students, they like to just keep it in order and they went 6 minus 2x. I don't really care as long as you understand which one is m and which one is b. That's really what it ends up being. You should always check in your head. You don't have to write it down, but 2x minus 2x is nothing, right? And so I get 3y equals, now do you want to do the x's first or the 6 first? You can't add them. They're not the same things. It's like adding apples and oranges. When I go to the store, I come out with oranges and some money. Hopefully with money. But you can't add them. I don't get orange money. Do I? David, what do I do over here? Your choice. Okay, which one do you want me to write first? 4. There's no 4. I don't see a 4. No, no, no. It's 6 minus 2x. Those aren't the same things. Think of a box with coins in it and a box with x's in it. You can't take away 2 of the x's from the 6 coins are not the same thing. This is the best part of algebra. I can't do that. I don't have to know what 6 take away 2 is because I can't. Should we go back and say, why can you do this? 6x minus 2x and say that that's 4x? Because I don't think you know why you can do that. Nick, do you know why? You were taught last year to subtract those front numbers. Remember, they're called coefficients. They both have x's on them. But what allows you to do that? You have to factor out an x. Do you remember distributive property?
Oh, yeah, 6x.
Remember that? You would just take x times 6 and x times 2. So to reverse it, I take out the common factor of an x, and I know how to do that. Hey, David? Grant, you guys had questions on this. I know how to do 6 take away 2. That's why that's 4x. If you look at this one, can you take an x out of both of these? No. So I can't do it. So that's easy. Then I just leave it. That's what I loved about algebra. Well, I have to still solve for y. So it still looks weird like that. Now what do I have to do? I want to get y by itself. Remember? I want this one all alone. Well, what operation is there? It's 3 what? Times. What's the opposite of multiplying by 3? Grant, what's the opposite of multiplying by 3? Dividing by 3. Well, I have to be fair. I have to divide every number here by 3. Because this is 3 y's. I only want 1. So what's 3 divided by 3? It's 1. So I get y equals 6 divided by 3. Mariah is what?
2.
And I can't divide 2 and 3. Not evenly. So we leave it 2/3 x. Do you know which one the slope is? Grant?
2/3.
Yes. But is it positive or negative?
Negative.
Yes. Because you know what? If I change subtracting to adding the opposite, I'll always get the sign right. So this is the slope right here.
And then, wait, so the y-intercept is
2. So the slope is negative 2/3. Oh, I got a few examples. The y-intercept is 2. Why is it 2? What's true about the y-intercept? Remember where the y-intercept is? What's the name of this ordered pair? What's the x-coordinate? Mariah? What's the x-coordinate here? No?
Yeah.
What's the x-coordinate? Everywhere on this line.
The y. Not bad. 0.
Yeah, it's 0. The x-coordinate, every point on the y-axis is 0. If I let x equal to 0 right in here, what's y equal to?
5.
What's 2/3 of 0? I have no money. I'm going to give you 2/3 of it. How much are you going to get? I have no money.
Nothing.
You're going to get nothing. Any number times 0 is 0, so that's going to go away, and you're left with 2. So the y-intercept is an ordered pair. It's 0, 2. But that's, remember, that B is where we begin on the y-axis. So we're going to begin at 2 on the y-axis. Now, we started the year with this, but we've been reviewing, and it didn't work. So we've been reviewing slope a little bit, and so this should be a little easier. Now, how do you get the next point? Because the slope is negative 2/3.
Don't you do like, you go to the side, -2, and you go up?
Remember, here's how I do it. This is the up or down, and this is the right or left. Does that help? If you have to remember that, think of it as a plus sign, but I'm going to pull the vertical
Then you
piece
go
out.
down to -2.
Down 2, and then to the right, 1, 2, 3. How many points do I really need?
Don't you need like at least 2?
I need at least 2. Could you? If you do the third one, you're going to be better on your line. So I'm going to go down 2, 1, 2, 3. And there it is. Please put the arrows in. Please extend the line because it's a line. It doesn't have beginning or ending. It goes forever. Okay, so you should have this one done on your paper. We don't have it done. Good. Prove it to me. This is quick review because after we do this, then we're going to solve systems of equations. Then we get into the quadratic algebra. But we have to know how to solve equations. We have to be able to solve for y. Hmm. If you are done with that, try the next one and I'll go do it.
All right, so
Okay, there we go. There's another one. X minus 2y equals 8.
-8.
Oh, thank you. I've gotten more trouble today for not reading correctly. Reading's important. Okay, Grant, how are we going to do this one? You need to put that away. We're doing these problems. Yes, I'm going to collect this, and you're going to need some graph paper. I got graph paper. Okay, how do I solve for y? That's what I want alone. I want to get this guy all by itself. What could I do to do that? You always undo the adding or subtracting. This is really adding an x, isn't it? And it's always going to be the same. We're going to move the x's first. So we're going to do what? How do I get rid of them? Follow? Minus what? X equals, and it's minus x. No, they're different.
So it'd be like -x minus.
Well, let's do this side. What's this going to be?
Well, so x, wouldn't that would be nothing, so it'd be -2y.
Equals. Now, do you want the x's first or the number first? You can't do that. Yep, you can't add them. They're not the same. You can only do x's with x's. So you need to be writing this down. This is required.
I'm doing this right? Because I want to move.
Don't forget your x.
No, I wasn't.
You forgot your x. Now what do we do? Divide by -2. -2. You got to get rid of that. I want a positive 1y. Remember, two negatives make a positive. Good. Okay. So if I simplify that, here's where I do have to do some work. What's a -8 divided by a -2? +4. And now, Cole, did you get two negatives here? What did two negatives make? A positive. And then what number is really in front of this x? There's a 1. So what's this number here? 1 out of 2. It tells you what to do. Okay. So now I got to figure out what the slope is and what the y-intercept is. So what's the slope? The slope is the number in front of x. I don't care where x is. It's the number with x. So what's the slope? 1/2. So 1/2. And where do we begin? At 4. Are you okay with this? It's backwards. If you don't like the way that's written, let's write it forwards. So it's y equals, because I can turn these two terms around. 1/2 x plus 4 is the same thing. And now maybe it's easier to see your slope. And this is your b. I don't care. Now where do we put the 4? All right, where do I put the 4? Where do I put the 4? Which axis? Which axis? Jake, do you know? Well, because I have this, y equals 1/2 x plus 4. I can always evaluate, always. I don't care what the equation is. So if I let x equal 0, then what's y equal to? It's 1/2 of 0 plus 4. What's half of 0? Cole?
Oh, yeah, I just tax zeros on it.
Yeah. So what do I get here? Y equals what? Okay, well, wait a minute. What's y equal to? David? Can you see that? Not -4. You made a sign error. It's +4. That's the ordered pair 0, 4. Which axis am I on? Tells you right there. Steve, what axis are we on? The y-axis. It tells you. You get that? Okay, so I'm going to put it 4 here. That's the easy. It should be the easy part. Now I got to do the slope of a half. Pardon? Up 1 over 2. It's just a matter of memorizing which number goes which direction. Sorry, Mylene. Coming. Because you lost your negative sign is my guess right here. Did you? And that's why I picked that example, because it's easy to lose the negative sign. you have it all graphed now? No? Yes. The answer is the line on the graph. Now, I want you to tell me what the slope and the y-intercepts are. Now, you did some graphing. I have those. If you haven't turned that in, I'm going to grade those.
Okay, so what do you do here? 'Cause that's already set up.
6x. Don't forget the x.
Yeah, but I mean,
You have, it's a 6x. There you go. No. There's b. There's m.
oh, so it's already done. I don't even need to do this
No,
extra
that's
stuff.
no. Oh, wait, is it negative y? Oh, it's negative y. You missed your negative sign. But you're going to graph these.
What's what?
Says read the directions. Read the directions. So you're going to need some graph paper. Yeah. Because I don't know that you really know it. I got lots of graph paper here, too. Oh, that's plain. Yeah, they only have, oh, they're only one-sided. Sorry. You can, now, if you put two on one graph, please label them. Okay, we're going to do, turn the page. We're ready, and we're going to do the first couple problems. Then you'll have to staple these together. Oh, we can jump around. We don't have to do the first one, but we should probably do the first one. Oh, look at that. She's way ahead of things. Which is what I did, too. Yes. Okay. Oh, you gotta pass that back.
Oh, she's getting.
No, I've got lots of graph paper.
Okay, for the
So try number one while I answer a question.
Does it?
You want to get y by itself.
Okay.
Now, if you can't read it, because of the way I create these worksheets, they're not the best in the world. Open your book and look at them because they're just copied right out of your book. Justin, do you know how to do this problem? I want to solve for y. I want to get this guy all by itself. Mariah, will you help him out? What do you have to do? Nope. Remember, we undo adding, subtracting first. I'm sorry, what? I got a whole bunch. Did I not count 3?
Well, don't we need 10, so there's no problem.
Well, you can get more. You can put 2 on 1. I don't care. Okay. Justin, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. You're going to distract them. Taylor, do you know what I have to do? Minus 3 what? X. Okay. David? I do. I want to get rid of the 3x that's hanging around with it. You can't, don't undo the dividing first. You'll mess you up. You can, but it's just mess you up. Negative 3x. Now, you guys, Grant, math tells you what to do. David? It tells you what to do. I've got 4y here. I don't want the 3x there. Some of you want to subtract 3, not 3x. Well, if you subtract 3, you can't take 3 from 3x.
So negative 3x.
If you know the rules, you gotta know the rules.
Then that would just make the x by itself.
That leaves you 4y equals 12 minus 3x. Right? And then we divide by, I want y by itself. Who's, no, divide, because this is multiplying. Opposite of multiplying by 4 is dividing by 4. I want this to be 1. Divide this by 4, this by 4, and this by 4. Okay. And Mariah's going to help me with this one. What happens over here? Because you're not paying attention. Okay. Go have lunch. I missed you too. Okay. True. What do you get here? Mariah? 0. No, what's 4 divided by 4? See, you guys, you got to know the rules. What's 4 divided by 4? You know that. What is it? It's 1. Yeah. So y equals, and Nick, what do I get here now? Right here. 12 divided by 4. If it could talk, it would say 12 divided by 4, right? Minus, don't miss that minus sign, and it's 3/4 of x. That might cause you some troubles. Okay, so we want to graph that. What is the slope? No, the slope is the number with x. Right there. That's right. Negative 3/4. And where do we begin on the y-axis? At where? 3. Okay, Mariah? Where's your pencil? Okay, so I'm going to grab a graph here. And I'm going to go put this in here, maybe. You guys should have graphed this by now. I think I copied that on another piece of paper. I'm not sure. Okay, so b is equal to 3. I'm going to begin on the y-axis. Is that okay? Grant, you got that down? This should go on your graph paper. And then how do I do this one? Negative 3/4. How do you want to do it? I'm going to start here. It's negative 3 over positive 4. I don't care how you do it. Down 3, because this is the up-down, and that's the right-left. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to count to the right, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is. And I could use the calculators to help me solve for these, to check them. Because you could tell the calculator how to do that. Should we try the next one? Yes. So we have 8x minus 3y, and it's those pesky negative signs that get in the way. They cause me all sorts of trouble. I want to solve for y. I want that guy all by itself. There. How do we do that? You're Alex, right? How do I get this one all by itself? I don't want this. I want this isolated. So who's tagging along? 8x. So how do I get rid of it? Minus 8x. If you do enough of these, eventually we'll learn them. I hope you don't memorize them. And then I put minus 8x here. This is the best part of algebra. I don't know what 6 minus 8x is. It is what it is. So I get, what kind of y here? Negative 3. Is it easy to lose that sign? Yes, even in calculus, they lose the sign. And yes, all we do in calculus is graph lines and curves. So then this is minus 6 minus 8x. Or you could reverse it, doesn't matter to me. Now what do we do? Nope. These are numbers, these are letters. They're different. Steve. What kind of 3? Divide by a negative 3. Because I want this to be a positive 1. If you understand, you'll remember. Grant, why is it negative? What happens when I divide a negative 3 by a negative 3? I get? It gives me a positive 1. I want it to be a positive 1 with the y's. I don't care about the other ones. So I divide this by a negative 3 and this by a negative 3. I don't know if this is going to fit on my graph. I'm hoping it does. So what do I get? Check. I better get a y equals, and then what's this? Negative 6 divided by negative 3 is a 2. A negative divided by a negative is a what? Positive. And the fraction is 8 over 3. Big number. What's my slope? It's 8/3. And where do I begin? 2. Is this getting easier? You remembering this now from last year?
We didn't do it like this last year.
How'd you do it?
Okay, like for number 3, like 4x plus 2y equals negative 2. We will minus the 4x from each side, and then we would take the 2y equals negative 2, and then we would divide.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Well, you're doing it different.
No,
Like, no, you're setting it up different. We didn't set it up that way.
no, I didn't subtract 4x.
And then
and then divide by the 2.
Oh, did we set it up?
Yeah, that's fine. Shouldn't be any different. Math is math. That's what's cool about it. Graph. Okay. Oh, I might have forgotten. No, I was gonna put it on the same graph, but I didn't want to mess it up, so I'm gonna put it on a new graph. Is that okay? It's probably better. There it is. Now slide it. So where do I begin? At 2, right? Well, that was a pretty good circle, actually. Okay, is that okay, Nick?
Wait, I have a question.
This is where you begin. You always begin here. We could do an activity, but I really need to get into quadratic stuff.
Right, wait.
Then you guys try to graph the next point.
Okay, well, that stuff's done. I was just wondering, like, what do I do?
Where's your X here? Okay, you guys, you got to keep track of everything. Negative signs and X's. Nothing can disappear. Oh, that helps me so much. Which one are you looking at?
This one. What do I do with the 0?
Nothing. Just divide by 5.
So it'll be 0.
No, divide by 5.
0 divided.
But you have to divide this one by 5.
Yeah, no, it'll be 0, but then, so it would just be the intercept?
Yeah, what?
Oh, so
It's
it'd be like
0.
5.
No, it's 0. Isn't the Y value here 0? B is 0.
Oh, so it starts at 0.
Mhm. In fact, in the video, I think they talk about that. They say put the plus 0 in here. Now, how am I going to do this? This is the up down. This is the right left. Uh-oh. I can't really go up 8. How about if I did a negative 8 and a negative 3? Will that work? Yeah. So let's count down 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have answers to this, by the way, in the book. And then I got to count 3. So I really didn't mean to make a dot there. 1, 2, 3. That's the dot I want. This is a pretty steep line. You would fall off that hill. If you had your car here, that car would fall off. It wouldn't even roll down the hill. It would fall off the hill.
Oh, that's not a positive 3?
I can do positive 3 here and then up 8, but I was off my graph.
Oh, I think I like that.
It's a positive slope.
Like, I got
That's a negative slope. Oh, because this is a negative 3 right here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, see, math is particular. If you don't like being particular, don't become an accountant. You got to account for every little detail. You can't lose a negative sign. Do we want to try one more or let you work? Okay, I'm going to pause this and answer some questions.